fellow Minecrafters, Gearsaw Studios here. Today I'm going to show off 21W43A, where they have introduced biome blending, which is quite a new thing. However, before I begin, remember, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. So, with that, let's investigate. So, a familiar site, reddit.com, where we are looking at 21W43A. Which there's quite a bit of prologue to this, and I'd recommend making a backup if you want to check this out on your main worlds, because a lot of things are missing for now. So the new feature is really just the edge between old and new world generation is now adjusted when you upgrade a world, which now means when you load up your old world and go into new chunks, the chunk next to it will try to adapt, so that way it looks better than just a flat wall. In old chunks, there's also some deep slate upgrades, so the bedrock will be destroyed and replaced with deep slate all the way down to -64 at the new bedrock. But it will only have this kind of deep slate that does not contain caves, which is rather disappointing. And that's about it for the upgrading. It's not too good right now, but expect it to get better. Some things have been renamed and some things have been changed. Less flooded caves near water bodies. Priority updates video setting has been renamed to Chunk Builder. Aquifer water levels change less often. So, bigger areas with the same water level, which means cooler caves. Lava aquifers are less common, which they're already rare. I'm not too happy with this change, but oh well. And big grip reefs are now restricted to more grass-like blocks, such as clay, grass, dirt, farmland, moss, rooted dirt, podzol, and mycelium. Some technical changes have been done with the chunk format and some block ticking and some other things I don't understand. But the biggest thing is the bug fixes. Deep warm oceans generate coral and sea pickles now. Badlands layers now generate correctly. Pufferfish now spawn in deep warm oceans. Deep warm oceans count towards adventuring time. The Badlands strata is covered by orange terracotta at Y160 and above. Decorators don't generate the same, and stone generating in the nether, along with lava generating in icebergs. So let's look in game. Now I'm going to play the world that has the same seed as my personal survival world. So if the other two people on the server are watching, here's a sneak peek of what's happening. So, of course, I'd highly recommend making a backup, but this is just a testing world, so it doesn't matter that much. It will also take a moment to load because, of course, it has to generate all the new deep slate. But it still should not take too long. Now, in the world, some stuff will have to load in. And looking down, everything seems pretty much the same for now as the chunks load, but I'm going to go over here towards these taiga mountains, or over here. Of course, the biomes have been changed back into their normal variants if they were hills. And it's taking a while to load, but that's to be expected. And look, this was originally just a taiga mountains, but since I wiped the chunks behind it, it's just a giant taiga wall. And it looks actually pretty natural, besides the fact that the trees are very clearly cut off, and this does look pretty similar to chunk borders. But this is still a very good change, because you can see that it's not nearly as awkward as it would be originally, but of course, chunk boundaries are still incredibly obvious here. Along with that, trees don't generate properly. The caves might be a little awkward for now, but still very good. Another thing you should keep an eye out for is snowy biomes not doing too well. Over here at this extreme hills, it's very obvious where the new and old start and begin and stuff, because the snow layers give it all away. Along with that, you can see that the biome blending is not doing its job too correctly. So if I turn off biome blend, you can see that it just about goes on chunk lines. So that's still an issue. Overall, very developmental, but definitely good for a first try. Another thing that you should probably know, and this is going to be for all versions of this. Your oceans are going to become very closed off, probably, if you haven't explored them completely. On my personal world, I explored all these oceans, so this should not be too bad, but it's still something I'd really recommend doing. Exploring your oceans if you do not want them completely closed. So, I do have one final thing to say about this new gen. Of course, you're going to have to account for the underground. Of course, this is going to be fixed later on, but you can see harsh borders here. So, it's not completely perfect right now because, of course, there's the harsh borders, and here's a cut in half geode, but it's still a definitely good first try. And over here, it works semi-well because the bedrock has been replaced with deep slate. So there's some good stuff and there's some bad stuff. Overall, would not take the chance right now in converting your worlds. For the deep warm oceans thing, they have accidentally removed deep warm oceans completely. However, now that actually means something else. We can explore this area, but it has deep ocean things. So you can see this is just about what it would look like. So it has some issues because the biome has been completely removed from the game code somehow. No locate commands, no single biome worlds, but either way, we can still look at it, kind of. So at least they fixed it, but we can't truly enjoy it because they accidentally removed the entire biome. Albeit unrelated to anything that has happened this snapshot, this Stony Peaks is rather weird because it just decided, hey, cheese cave. And it just created a cheese cave right here, which doesn't necessarily line up. But this exposes a new feature. Caves in the Badlands biome now exposes terracotta, which was probably always a thing, but now we can actually enjoy it. Along with that, over here, an actual change. Originally, this giant mountain of Badlands would just be riddled with tons and tons of layers of orange terracotta. But that's not the case anymore. Instead, it's been replaced by normal terracotta, which means we won't have those really weird Badlands. So we have just 2 bug fixes fixed, which makes these Badlands better. With the Badlands layers fixed, that also means it affects caves, and you might be able to occasionally catch a glimpse of the terracotta leaking into a cave. Over here at this absolutely amazing lush cave, which this aquifer would have normally been super broken, but now it's very flat now. This is a very nice environment. It has all the lush stuff, an azalea tree in here, the glowberry vines, and the Badlands mineshaft generation has occurred here. So this is probably not a bug, but rather an intended feature. So either way, amazing. A change with the aquifers, and the Badlands is looking even cooler than ever before. Since all the other changes are very uninteresting, impossible to show, or very technical which I can't understand, it's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, remember, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. So, with that, take care, make frequent backups, take a look at this mountain. It has so much iron on it. Gearsaw, out.